Pastor Julian here with Central's Devotion for today. I hope you're doing well. For our devotion, we're going to take a look at 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. And this is a passage about friendship, and the importance of friendship, in particular of having the right friends. We all have this desire within us for friendship, to have good, solid friends. Some of us want lots of friends and want to be popular, but the main desire that most of us have in us is to have at least one or two good, solid friends that are going to stick by us in the good times and the bad times, and that we can share life with, share things, like just had a baby or a grandchild, I just graduated, or big things like that, to even little things like I just found a great new show on TV. I want you to check it out. We watch it together. So friends are this wonderful, precious gift in life, and there's a desire in us for this. So I'm going to read to you from 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. This is what it says. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? The friends that you choose have an impact on you. Now, you might it might be easy for you to make friends. If you lose a friend, I could just make another friend. I'm good at making friends. And there's others of us who it's not as easy to make friends. So when you actually do make a friend, it's a big deal. And sometimes you might even compromise who you become friends with. It's important to know that when you become friends with someone, you become yoked with them if you guys are like best friends. There's a couple of different levels of friendship out there. There's like the best friend, and then there's the once in a while friend, and there's someone who you might connect with every once in a while and say, hey, what's up, via text message, or maybe even a quick phone call, or maybe you send a letter. And then there's other friends that you might just pass by and you share a friendly greeting with. And hey, how are you? How are you doing? Okay. But it doesn't mean you're best friends. But those people in that best friend territory, those are people that you tend to be yoked to. And when I say yoked, I'm talking about what the yoke is describing is that when two oxen are plowing a field, there is a yoke that goes over their heads, that a harness that they use to pull the plow together. So they work together. They're moving towards the same goal together, which is straightforward and to plow that field. But if you are yoked to an oxen that is not going in the same direction as you, they're going over here, they're going to pull you off the right path that you're supposed to be on. They're going to pull you in another direction, and you're going to be struggling against them, and you're going to wind up somewhere you don't want to be. So when you have a friend, you need friends that you are evenly yoked with. And this is speaking specifically of believers and non-believers. So a non-believer does not have the same goals in mind as someone who is a believer. And so if you become best friends, solidly intertwined, unbreakable, and you spend a lot of time together, you are going to be influenced as a Christian in the way of the world and pulled off track. In order to not do that, you have to be like the strongest oxen in the world, or the strongest Christian in the world, that even though this other oxen, this other person is pulling you in this direction, that you have the strength to pull them along in your path anyway. That's impossible. So you need to be careful not to yoke yourself, commit yourself to a friend that is going to pull you in another direction. You need to unharness yourself or release them from their yoke and head in a different direction, and find a friend that's going to pull you and work with you to head towards that goal which God has called you heavenward, to live a godly life focused on Him, devoted to Jesus, loving your neighbor as yourself. This doesn't mean that you're not, you don't have one of these lower tier levels of friends with non-believers. Absolutely, you're supposed to care and share God's love with the world. You influence them in a positive way without being influenced by them. That's the important thing. So when you're yoked to them, it's hard to do that. But when they're in one of those lower friendship tiers, you could potentially do that. The other part of verse 14 says, "And what fellowship does light have with darkness?" Light and darkness cannot exist in the same space together. So you need to be cautious that whoever you are with and making a friend with, that you are not compromising so that you could be in the same space together. Jesus cared, and he ministered to the sinners, those who were not Christian at the time, and he brought the gospel to them and loved them and invited them to come follow him. But he was not yoked to them, but they, when they became believers, became yoked to Jesus. And that's the case here with friends. You don't want to be yoked to them, having them pull you away from God, away from how you're supposed to be living your life in devotion to Jesus and loving God and loving others. You want to see if they're going to come along and join your yoke and pull in the same direction. God bless you, and I wish you the best with your friends, and have a great day.